So the next thing here is there's something that I'm calling um, nostalgic summer movies, right? So myself, and I'm sure a lot of big movie fans, or just in general, there was some summer movies that you might have seen that you enjoyed and you loved in the theater, right? Because we're talking about movie theater experiences, right? We're trying to keep them alive, right? But but going back, if you go into your memory lane or whatever the case might be, there might be some movies that when you think of like summer movie theater experiences, there might be some movies that may not necessarily be amazing, great movies, but you had a great time. You growing up or whatever the case, right? So I asked you, Alex, Matthew, and then I put some myself as to what might be three of those movies that you might have experienced. And this is what we're doing here, that nostalgic summer movies. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Alex. I'm going to reveal your three, and then you can just talk about them one by one here. So I'll reveal the first one, and then you can just talk about it, and then we'll move on to the next one and so forth. And then we'll get to Matthew. So let's do your first one here, Mr. Alex. So, of course, this was Jurassic Park. Yes. So that came out in 1993. Now, I actually didn't get a chance to watch this in the theater, at least not when it first came out. I watched it as a re-release. I think it was like last year. Yeah, last year, 2023, would be the 30th anniversary. So I missed it. I was dying to see this movie, but for whatever reason, I wasn't able to go. But you did. So what are your thoughts on this, Mr.
Yeah, I was super young. I was 5 years old, I think.
Damn.
And yeah, I was a baby, man. But it's one of those experiences that I remember. I think it was the first time that I was like, okay, how did they do this? Mm-hmm. How is this possible? Like I was really young. I'm like, okay, so there's a guy called Steven Spielberg who makes movies. And I started obsessing with him. It was real. I was a kid, man, and I think this movie is impactful because it's like when older people watch Star Wars for the first time or Superman, it said like, how is this even possible? How can you make this look so real? And it was like that, and I was terrified almost throughout the whole movie. But it's such a memorable experience. Like I don't think any generation will experience this again the same way that we did back in the day. Like they can watch it in theaters, but it's not the same thing because like the first time you're actually seeing dinosaurs come live. Right. It was very, very impactful. Like, yeah, I love this movie. I love this movie. And I actually even remember where I was sitting in the theater. That's,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't able to watch it in the theater, yes, but I would have loved to have. And when it finally came out on VHS, my parents bought me the VHS, and I was obsessed, like immediately. So it's like all these great dinosaurs. It looks so real, and it's one of my top movies ever. Yeah. So it's definitely there. And then just a little segue there. I am going to rank a Steven Spielberg filmography this summer in the Met Reports. So I'll give you guys more details a little later. But yeah, Steven Spielberg, Jurassic Park. So let's look at the live chat here. We have Mr. Austin Nicholas says, I want figures from Jurassic Park. And then time always tells. You can watch Jurassic Park now, and it's still visually stunning. And yes, I completely agree with that. Like I said, I just watched it for the first time in the theater last year, and perfect. Like, there's nothing there that I was like, that looks dated. No, it's still perfect. It just showcases the horrorness of this dinosaur movie and things like that. So. Then Matthew, I believe you've seen Jurassic Park, right?
I've seen bits and pieces in various dentists and doctors' offices, but never in one like sitting.
Okay. That is not the way to experience Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
There's some movies that I know you haven't seen, Matthew, so we need to like do like a movie thing, like a weekly movie thing. Some movies that you need to catch up to. And this is definitely one of them.
One of them.
Yeah. And I think I think you were supposed to go with us to see that in the theater.
Yeah,
I think you had something else
I
going
was
on.
supposed to. I didn't end up going. I don't remember for what reason, but
Right, right. Because I think I had a ticket for you too, and we were ready to go, but something happened.
You need to watch it. You really need to watch it.
I do.
Although he did watch Jurassic World
Dominion,
and he loved it, right, Matthew?
No.
I was about to get really angry at that.
Yeah,
that's not a way to get into the franchise.
he did watch that in theater, so there you
Oh my god. Who are you? I watched it at home and I suffered through the whole thing.
Wow. Yeah, not good. And I was kind of very excited because they brought, obviously Jeff Goldblum and the main cast, but that doesn't really mean much anymore, really, right? Because if they're not gonna do anything with it, then what's the point, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Austin says, Matthew, you need to watch it in one sitting. It's not a movie, it's an experience, exactly, and not a dental office visit experience.
No,
sure.
Jose Plus saying we saw Jurassic Park in a drive-in. I was 1 year old and apparently really scared. My mom told me, "Don't be scared. They are dinosaurs like Barney." Yeah, that's okay. That is one big difference between this T-Rex right here to a purple dinosaur. But I guess that'll work for you, right? Let's see. Austin says it's so cliche to say, but it's truly amazing. One of the few 10 out of 10 movies. And yes, I would completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, there's that before and after Jurassic Park. Every way.
Yeah. And then the next one here, Mr. Alex, your number one. I'm not number one, but the next one here for you is so this is The Mummy. Yeah. The 1999. And hopefully hopefully we're talking about this movie and you didn't mean another movie.
Oh no, of course it was this movie.
Okay, all right. The Brendan Fraser one. Okay, so what are your thoughts on that?
Dude, I love Indiana Jones, and obviously I didn't get to watch those in theaters. So this was like watching an Indiana Jones movie, but with a mummy. So I don't know, man. Like it was such a fun experience. I was scared. I was having fun. It's not a fantastic movie, but I think it's one of those theater experiences that I like. Jurassic Park, I will never forget. It was fun, entertaining. The music is great. I think Jerry Goldsmith was the composer. I like it. I like it a lot. It's not as meaningful as Jurassic Park in my life, but it's one of those experiences that's like, dude, I wish they made more movies like this one, which are just pure fun adventure movies that are just trying to make you have a good time and forget about everything else in the world.
Did you like the second one?
No.
No, you didn't like that rock CGI Scorpion King?
The PS1, the PS2 graphics, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but this one was great. This one was a super fun movie.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I saw this in the theater in summer 99, and I was always fascinated with ancient Egypt, right? Pyramids and mummies and stuff like that. So when this movie was advertised and things like that, I was like on board like right away, and then saw it. It came out on Mother's Day weekend, so remember they did like a whole thing about Mummy's Day open, opened big on Mother's Day or something like that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. The second one, definitely has a lot of issues. I did not like the third one.
No.
I forgot what it's called, but I did not like the third one, and I hated the Tom Cruise one. So there you go there. Matthew, have you seen this, The Mummy?
No, but I have been on the Universal ride, so.
Oh, okay, that's right. The Universal roller coaster that goes. It's in darkness. Have you been there before, Alex?
Yeah. I really like it. Yeah.
Go in the dark and then it reverses and
it's so much fun.
It is a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah. I hope they never close it, man. Like it's one of those really cool rides.
Yeah, I think I heard that. I'm not sure if I heard this, or maybe I'm mixing it up with Disney, but I think they're expanding the the location, and hopefully that'll prevent it from getting closed. But
I hope so, man. I hate when they close them or they do weird upgrades like the Jurassic World upgrade.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I mean, they still have the Orlando one. Still has the original Jurassic Park ride.
Nice.
So that one's still there. Okay, so then the next one for you, Alex. Now I'm gonna put a little asterisk because this movie did not come out in the summer here in the U.S., but it did come out where you saw this movie at
Mexico. Yeah.
So that Mexico, that's the first Matrix movie.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts there?
Dude, I think you love this movie too. It's so impactful as well. This was like this for me. This was like a life-changing experience in terms of what made sci-fi movies for me. Like I've never seen anything like that. The idea of getting into a computer world, and it was too smart for me at the time. I was really young, so the whole idea behind everything was incredible. Like, also will never forget what this movie made me think and feel. It's so cool.
Yeah, this is my favorite individual film, just in general.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is the one that I was denied watching a third time in the theater, but because it was all rated, and it was like barely all rated. I think it was just like there was like a couple of like kind of violent scenes, but like there was no like language or like sexual stuff. It just a little bit of violence that it just crossed it into that all rating situation. But yeah, Matthew, I know you've seen this movie, so what are your quick thoughts on that?
I saw it like 2-ish years ago. I thought it was pretty good. I don't like it as much as Gio does, but I can see where other movies got inspiration from this movie. Definitely like a lot of like the action scenes. I can see inspiration from that, but like, but yeah, I think it's pretty good. Nothing more than that, honestly.
Okay. All right. So,
probably because you grew up in a world with computers and internet. And
yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, I think that's something to do with that too. Because like, yeah, so this is life. I know this already. So
yeah, simulation. Okay, we live in a simulation every day. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, Jose says definitely agree. My guy at Austin Nicholas, and I think referring to Jurassic Park. Okay, so that was Mr. Alex's nostalgic summer movies, which were all great. Some of them would be mine too, but since you already did yours, I did a couple different ones. But the next one is Matthew. Now, Matthew is younger, right? So some of these movies are going to be more recent in our memory, right? So the first one for Matthew is Cars 3 specifically. So what do you want to say about this, Matthew?
I know a lot of people don't like this movie per se, but
that is true,
I am not one of those people. The first Cars movie is my favorite movie of all time. Very odd pick, I know, but this movie, it's like one of the best looking animated movies I've ever seen. I know some people don't really like the hyper realistic look, but I specifically remember the scene where they're like in a forest or something, and I just remember like even in the theater I was like, dang, like that looks really good. But honestly, the reason I like this movie is because it had a very good conclusion for Lightning McQueen. I know a lot of people didn't like said conclusion because it was him passing the torch, of course, and they want him to just race forever, and and I always see discourse about Cars 4. Honestly, if there was a Cars 4 and Lightning McQueen was like in it racing, I honestly wouldn't like it. I don't think that's the direction the character should go. But yes, okay. Like this is one of my favorite summer movies and probably my second favorite Cars movie.
Oh yeah, I remember your obsession with cars. So with the Pixar cars, yeah, it's all that Pixar magic. So yeah. I did like this first Cars movie, and a lot of people weren't a big fan of. That's when some people would say that this one Pixar's quality went down with the Cars movie, but I did really enjoy it, so I did kind of like it. I'm assuming you've seen this, Alex?
I've never seen it.
Oh, really? Okay, so all right.
Yeah,
so.
I don't like. I'm not into cars. So like when I saw the movie poster, I'm like, I don't think this is for me.
Okay. It's just like that.
Yeah, I was like, I know what it is about, but back then I was like, so this is like Fast and the Furious for kids or what? So
oh wow.
yeah, they don't watch it.
Yeah, they made a Gran Turismo movie not too long ago, like last year, maybe the year before. And I watched that movie, and it was fine. It was better than I thought it would be. And the whole time, like the whole story of that movie is like, this is Cars. Like this whole thing, it's Cars. Like, yeah, it's like it's kind of like the same storyline.
They stole the plot.
Live action. So I was like, yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny. So Matthew's next one is another Pixar movie, and that's Monsters University. So, what do you want to say, Matthew?
So this is probably, I don't know if it's one of the first 5 or 10 movies that I saw in theaters. I know I didn't start seeing movies in theaters until like about 2012, you know, first Avengers, that era. But I do vividly remember seeing this movie being one of the first movies I saw, because I remember being confused because the commercial said see it only in theaters in 3D, so I thought you could only see it in 3D. So when we went to the theater, I was very confused to why it wasn't in 3D. But
I think because I took you to that.
Yeah, you took me to see that. But I definitely have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. I think partly due to the fact that this was around the time that the Disney Infinity game came out, and a big part of that game was the whole Monsters University thing, and that was like my favorite part of the game. So I feel like that's another part of why I enjoy this movie. But it's very fun. I prefer this movie over the first one, which is probably a hot take, but
wow, it definitely is. So
yeah, I like it. You know, it's cute.
Yeah, so I wasn't a huge fan of this. I mean, I saw it because I went with you. I think a lot of the movies that you've seen as a kid, I most likely took you to see that.
Yeah.
So that's Monsters University. That was in 2013. So it's kind of like your nostalgia is like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's still but yeah, I did like the first one more than this one. It was okay. It's Monsters University, but the next one for Matthew is it's so recent that it's like it's in the 2020s. But technically he was a child when he saw this, so Bullet Train. And this was kind of random as hell to me, Matthew, but what did you want to say about this?
So you definitely remember this part, but this trailer was in the theaters for like 2 years or something.
Yeah,
and
I
was tired of it. I like hated this movie like before it even came out, but it was like, we had to see it since we already saw the trailer so many times. But this movie is like, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Like this cast is like, it's really stacked. I think the cast really carries this movie, especially what's his face, Aaron Taylor Johnson. That's his name.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah.
And yeah, like I hope this is a movie that becomes kind of like, not like a franchise, but at least gets a couple sequels. I can see, like, especially with these characters, I feel like it would be something that I can enjoy for years on end.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so I mean, I saw this movie. I thought it was a fun movie too. Wouldn't say one of the greatest movie I've ever seen, but yeah, I do remember when we would go to see a movie. They would always play this trailer, like the same one, for like months and months and months. So I think that worked on you, Matthew. So we ended up watching it. So, Alex, have you seen this?
I haven't. I didn't watch Monster. I didn't watch any of your nostalgia.
Oh, that's right. None of them.
None of them.
Oh, okay.
I've seen scenes from this one. I don't know. It wasn't for me.
Right. It didn't grab you to want to watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it was all right. Not bad. And recent, but
very recent, like
3 years ago.
Nostalgia. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So we're gonna get into mine, and so I'm an older individual. So some of these nostalgic movies are definitely in the 90s. So, okay. So the first one is going to be The Lion King. The Lion King animated movies. So this one I was dying to watch. Obviously in the theater, and I had a great experience with this. It's one of the best. I think it's one of the best animated movies of all time. I go back and forth between this one and Toy Story. They might be at the same level, but it goes back and forth for me. Obviously, the story of this movie is legendary now. Wasn't a big fan of the live, quote unquote, live action adaptation of it. But yeah, this is one of those movies I wanted, like everything from this, like the toys, like everything. And there was like when this movie came out, there was something that actually happened to me personally. That was kind of like connected to it too. So actually, two of the movies on this list are connected to that same incident. But Lion King, great film. I figure all of you guys have seen this. So what are your thoughts, Alex?
I love it, man. I remember also when I watched it for the first time in theaters. Great movie. I think also it's one of the best animated movies of all time. Really.
Yeah, this is one of the few movies that because my parents are not like big movie buffs or fans, not really. So this is one of those movies that the whole family went. I mean, Matthew didn't exist yet, but the whole family went. Myself, obviously, my sisters went, and they're all young. I was young, so it was a great time. So very nostalgic, great movie. And let's see, Mr. Cuso says some of the most memorable songs are from The Lion King, and yes, I would agree with that too. That was one of those Disney movies, or just movies in general, which I didn't mind that there was a lot of music and songs. Now I kind of mind, but back then I kind of didn't. I didn't really notice it. Really, it was just kind of part of the story. It was just like part of it, right?
Yeah.
The
music is beautiful.
Yeah, most definitely. And then of course they're doing the Mufasa prequel that's coming out in December. So like that, thumbs down. Matthew, your thoughts on this?
So yeah, it's a Disney classic that I saw dozens of times growing up. I remember watching this, the Lion King 2.
Oh yeah.
That movie, then also all the TV shows that were short-lived on Disney Channel. I did like this movie, not so much the live action or the new Broadway with Kanye West's daughter, but that's a whole different thing.
Oh wow, okay. You brought that up.
Yes,
okay.
This is definitely up there with the Disney original animated movies. The score in this movie is amazing. All the sung songs I love. But yeah, I mean the Mufasa movie does intrigue me more than the live action did for this one, so hopefully that's good. But yeah,
so we have Alice, our sister, saying hello, besties. Hello there, Alice. And let me know if you remember watching The Lion King, because I think you were an infant when we saw that. But all right, so that was my first one there. Okay, my next one. You guys have to really like forgive me, I guess you can say. But it's very nostalgic. I'm a huge Batman fan, and it is Batman Forever. Joel Schumacher's epic masterpiece film. So yeah, I was obsessed with this particular movie because this is when I was, at least that I remember, a movie or a Batman movie being advertised like regularly. And I was already a big Batman fan because of the animated series and obviously the Keaton Batman movies, which I wasn't able to watch in theaters. But then this one came out. I was a fan of Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was really big at the time, The Mask and all these other movies and things like that he was in. So I was super excited for this, and I watched it, and I did love it. I was a kid, so of course I still really liked it. And like I said, this movie is connected to an incident that happened to me personally, and it's very connected to that as well. So that's why it kind of adds to the memory bank, I guess you can say. So I know a lot of people do not like this movie, and I, even as an adult watching it, I'm like, yeah, I totally get it. I totally, completely get it. But it's just gonna be there forever, no pun intended, in my memories. So yeah, so this is one of them here. Alice says the first movie I remember going to is Mulan. Okay, so another Disney movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were way too young, and I remember you being quiet for the Lion King. Um, so yeah, Alex, let's go to you. What are your thoughts?
I don't like this movie. Didn't like it as a kid. I was super excited. I love Michael Keaton's Batman, but this one was like it took me out of it. I was really young too, but it's like this is not the Batman that I was used to watch. Still, I remember that I really liked Jim Carrey. I was obsessed with him back then. I was always trying to make faces like him and stuff. So,
Oh wow,
yeah.
that's funny.
So, yeah, not a big fan of the movie, but I understand the nostalgia. And I think it was for us like our first Batman movie because we were too young for the other ones. So,
yeah, definitely. But it's kind of funny that did you watch it when it first came out, or you waited like later?
no, I watched it in theaters. This one.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but it's kind of funny though. You're younger than I am, and you already like.
Oh, really? I thought
Like,
I was
no,
older
this is
than
not-
you.
This is not me. So that's kind of funny.
But it was the same as when I watched Phantom Menace. It was like, oh, I'm so excited, and then it was like, no.
Yes. Let's see. Jose G. Jose Plus says, I just got my Riddler in a few days ago. Love it. Did you get yours already, Gio? I have not. I have not gotten that Riddler quite yet, but it should arrive pretty soon. And then we have Alice saying, I'm at Knott's, so goodbye. I just wanted to say hello. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for dropping by, Alice. Mr. Cruz said, I still love the Batmobile from Forever. Yeah,
Me too.
I like that Batmobile, and the Jazz Inc. You know, they made that vehicle a 1/6 scale, and I would love to have it, but it was just super pricey, and it's huge. It's huge. I mean, I would like all the Batmobiles, and now they're working on, or they're doing the animated series of Batmobile 2 from Jazz Inc. So we'll see how
I might get
goes.
that. I might get that.
Oh, will you? Okay, yeah. So
I think
there,
I will buy it.
yeah, because that one is how much did they say it was? $14.99.
Yeah, I want the blue one.
That's the one that I want too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the blue one. I know some people were not a big fan of that, but because I saw both of them, the black and then they showed the blue one second, and I was like, that looks more like what I remember.
Yeah.
More than anything, but yeah. Then we have here, Brick Artemis dropping by here, Mr. Brick Artemis. What's up, panel and chat? Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Brick Artemis. Greatly appreciate it. And Matthew, actually, I don't remember. No, you've seen this. You've seen Batman Forever, right?
Yeah.
I think
probably the first Batman movie I saw. I think we had this on DVD or something. I don't know how I got like.
I think I gifted you like all of them.
Oh yeah, because I saw this and I also saw Batman and Robin, and I mean I liked both movies. I watched them a lot as a kid. So when people like, you know, when I grew up and people said these were like the worst Batman movies, you know, I didn't really understand, but but now that I watched them, I do get it. I still think, you know, Batman and Robin is still hilarious, but yeah, like you said, Jim Carrey, you know, this is like the era of like The Mask, another movie that I thoroughly enjoy. But I really enjoyed this movie a lot.
Yeah, so so that came out in 1995. I remember the date, June 16th, because I know they were like advertising the shit out of it. And then June 20th, 1997 for the Batman and Robin. So yeah, I still remember all that stuff there. Okay, so it looks like we're caught up in the chat. Okay, so the next one, and this is the last one for me. Now, I would say that this particular movie really resonates and really hits like a summer movie, not just because it came out during the summer, but because the name of the movie, Independence Day, which here in the US is in July, on July 4th, right? So I had a blast watching this movie here in the theater. That's what made me a fan of. I mean, I do like disaster movies, right? I do like disaster movies. A lot of them are very bad. Like they really are really bad. This is the first one. Or actually, no, it's 1996. So this one and Twister, they came out the same year. And those two movies I was a huge fan of, but this one in particular because it has aliens, right? So like space, you know, creatures. Will Smith was starting to like be like really big and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And I do like watching this like every year. At least I try to. And then that speech by Bill Pullman, that presidential speech, which is like no real president has ever done a speech like this one right here. And it's like, yeah, like humankind, we're all gathering together to, fight against these aliens. Like, forget about your whatever issues that you have amongst you humans. We all have to gather together and battle this aliens that are attacking us and shit like that. So like, just forget all the other shit. So
that's
no president.
The suspension of disbelief ends.
Right,
will never
right.
happen. Yeah.
So right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like, yeah, this is true fantasy. I mean, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of fun. And then I know when I watched this movie, I went with my grandma.
Really?
With my grandma. So yeah, she was like the only one that could go with me or something.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah, so she went with me, and I think she was like falling asleep. And then at one point when the ship started attacking, like she wakes up and was like, what? Like, what the hell's happening? When they like start attacking the base and stuff like that, like all these hundreds of alien ships like dropping by, shooting all these green stuff or green whatever, I don't know what they call them, blasters or whatever. So yeah, it's a great movie, and then I just like the build up of like to the countdown of when they all like arrive to the conveniently the major cities of Earth and things like that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. But Matthew, have you seen Independence Day? I'm not sure if you have.
I don't think I have,
Yeah,
but
another movie.
But I have seen Independence Day Resurgence, and I actually saw that on July 4th, 2016. So
Yeah, no.
No.
No. I did watch that.
Not the same thing.
Nope. Even though it's the same filmmaker, but no. Alex, how about you?
I didn't watch it in theaters. I watched it at home. Really like it. It's a super fun movie. Haven't seen it in quite a while now, but I still like it, man. Those aliens were terrifying. I remember the when they're doing the autopsy at the. It was very, very scary for me. I was young.
Oh, really?
That really freaked me out, but it was really cool.
Yeah, it's a very fun movie.
Yeah.
Mr. Brick Autumn is saying saw this in a drive-through movie or a theater. Yeah. And then we have Dan, the Bat fan, dropping by. There. Hello, Mr. Dan. Thank you so much for dropping by.
Dan, I hope you're enjoying The Acolyte. I know you love it.
Oh, wow.
It's your favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
Mine too. Mine too is my favorite show.
Okay. Let's see. Hello, Dan. Mr. Kuzo say, I remember wanting to stand up and clap in the theater after the president's speech. See? Is that just me? So it's like, let me vote for Bill Pullman right now. President right now. I haven't seen Independence Day since I saw it in the theater, but I remember liking it. Says Mr. Brick Autumn.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, and then Dan just laughing at your acolyte.
Yeah, we were chatting the other day about the acolyte.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He posted something, and I was like, "Yeah, man, yeah."
Right.
What can we say?
Yeah, well, it is what it is. But so yeah, I think we're all caught up here with at least this nostalgic summer movies. It was interesting. My picks, your picks, Alex, and then obviously Matthew's picks are quite different because he's younger.
Generation, man, like
the Gen Z take, yeah, or the Gen Z hot take with that comment that you made earlier. But yeah, so